How to write Vietnamese names in English correctly. Vietnam to Vietnam, or Vietnam. Commonly, in writing, the country name in Vietnamese is Vietnam, in English is Vietnam. Its capital city name in Vietnamese is Hanoi, in English is Hanoi. Its largest city name in Vietnamese is Ton Pho Ho Chi Minh, in English is Ho Chi Minh City. My questions. Should this rule apply to other normal city/province names like Da Nang to Da Nang, Nha Trang to Nha Trang, etc.? There are place named after a person name. Ho Chi Minh Hai Ba Trung. Will it be written as Ho Chi Minh City or Ho Chi Minh City, Hai Ba Trung Ward or Hai Ba Trung Ward? There are names formed by other names like Ben Tri Thien is formed by Quang Ben Quang Tri Thua Thien. So will it be written as Ben Tri Thien or Ben Tri Tien? Lastly, how should I write people names? Mostly, people will change the order of the name in Vietnamese last mid first, to English order first mid last, like Ly Min not to not M. Ly or just not Ly. As a consequence, Ho Chi Minh should also be written as Min Si. Ho or Min Ho. Why don't people do that? What about not that much well-known but important person like the current president? Nguyen Tan Dung or Dung Nguyen? And should I keep the tones of the names or subtract them? Not Ly or not Ly? I want to know the answer from the viewpoint of a native speakers.
You can certainly assume that English speakers will omit the tone-denoting diacritics in the Vietnamese versions of the names of people and places, partly because they don't understand what they signify, and partly because they would have no idea how to reproduce them even if they wanted to, and that most of them will be confused about the different conventions regarding the order of names in conventional Vietnamese versus English usage. However, the name Ho Chi Minh is so well known to speakers of English that it has become fixed in that form, and is therefore probably immune to the reordering of its elements. Where Vietnamese place names consist of several discrete elements, e.g. Vietnam and Ha Noi, it seems to me that English speakers prefer to run them together, as you have already observed. I suspect the greatest influence on all aspects of how native English speakers treat Vietnamese names is the way they are presented in newspapers, although the easier access to information about Vietnamese culture that has been made possible thanks to the internet may prompt a few English speakers to try harder to conform to at least some of the Vietnamese norms. You might also find some of my remarks in this discussion relevant.
I am from Vietnam. In my school, when we learn English, in our books and my teacher teaches that 1. Da Nang, Vietnam, Vietnam. 2. Hai Ba Trung. 3. Ben Tri Thien, include Quang Ben, Quang Tri Thua Thien, before 1976, Bin Tri Thien. 4. Ly Min Not, Ly Min Not. 5. Ho Chi Minh, but we always speak/write President Ho Chi Minh or Bac Ho, like a member in our families. 6. Nguyen Tan Dung. My English is very bad. I hope that you can understand things I write.
Nguyen Ngo Siha and others have stated the case for omitting all diacritics when spelling Vietnamese names in a non-linguistic English context. I do not see any justification for rearranging the order of name components. It is absurd to write Chi Minh Ho in the same way that it is absurd to write Zedong Mao. Even monolingual English speakers should be expected to know that in some languages the family name comes first.
With regard to your question number 4, here, for what it's worth, is the style advice of the Oxford Guide to Style, 2003. Vietnamese names should not be transposed, although the family name is first. The correct reference is to a person's second given name. Nguyen Vo Giap becomes General Giap. This does not apply to Ho Chi Minh, which was a Chinese cover name rendered into Vietnamese pronunciation and spelling. As Eric Koval notes in his answer, the vast majority of English treatments of Vietnamese words do not attempt to reproduce the diacritical marks from the original spellings.